Welcome back. You got Will and Iman here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, Rovi, and MScribe, and today we got another Ordinals Takeover.
Ordinals are taking it over, dude.
You know
maybe
who,
not so much anymore.
You know who else is taking over?
Yeah.
Casey.
Casey, our Lord.
He's our Lord.
The Emperor, the ruler, the absolute
Alpha and Omega.
That's right, dude.
He's the truth.
Giga Chad. Whatever he says goes, right? So I guess we've been talking a lot about Casey over the last few weeks. He's kind of like he's awoken from his slumber.
Yeah.
When we first got into Ordinal, was like, what's Casey up to? He's just pretty quiet these days.
How come he hasn't tweeted anything in
in
8 months?
So he's back and he's been ruffling some feathers pretty persistently now.
Yeah.
Almost on a daily basis.
Right.
So we're gonna run down as we do every week, everything that happened in case, I don't know, you weren't paying attention at all this week, which understandable.
Yeah.
There's shit to do out there. We get it.
There's definitely a lot of shit to do.
But we are as deep as we can get. So what happened, dude?
All right, so let's read this tweet. So, should Bitcoin have fungible tokens?
Okay.
On the other hand, fungible tokens are 99.99% bullshit and scams.
Wow. Sounds like he's
That's
selling.
quite precise.
Yeah. It sounds like he's selling a fucking antibacterial product or something, Yeah. Nobody's that precise.
Right. It's not, yeah. I wonder what that 0.01% is. And
I don't know.
Okay, so on the other hand, they would bring an enormous amount of fee revenue, developers, and users to Bitcoin. People love tokens. They're like cyberpunk casinos. So the fee revenue might be substantial and ongoing on the point where concerns about security budget are completely alleviated.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm not actually super worried about the security budget. On the other hand, fungible tokens are already here with BRC20, RGB, and Taproot. I worry that protocols like RGB and Taproot are complex with potentially challenging UX. Compared to a simple on-chain protocol, BRC20, for all its flaws, is extremely simple and often provides a decent UX compared to RGB and Taproot, which require off-chain data storage. So all this alluding to a blog post that he posted a few days ago. And blah, blah, blah. He says, welcome to Runes.
RuneScape?
Runes.
Oh, Runes, not RuneScape. Okay,
Yeah.
so what are Runes, dude?
Yeah, so Runes uses OP return function of a Bitcoin transaction and introduces a fungible token using that standard. So this has nothing to do with ordinals.
Yeah, it's a whole different mechanism, right? If you're trying to transfer units,
correct,
units of account.
Yeah,
I guess Domo leveraged ordinal theory to do such a thing. But I guess there are some bloating issues with that's being, I guess, agreed upon or at least identified by people like Casey and others who are I guess technically inclined to understand. Yeah, I guess the implications of a further down the road matured BRC20 token environment, right? What's that going to do to the overall ecosystem of Bitcoin? So there's a problem there. So
yeah.
But who knows? So it's strange to see a protocol founder to kind of tear down his own ecosystem contributions in favor of something completely outside of it.
Yeah. So rune balances are held by UTXOs, right? A UTXO can contain any amount of any number of runes. And so a transaction contains a protocol message if it contains an output whose script public key contains an OP return followed by a data push of an ASCII upper letter R. The protocol message is all data pushes after the first. So it leverages UTXOs rather than an account system, which is you're heavily relying on indexers to maintain that information.
Correct. So all this to say, this blog post came out. It's not that long, but it wasn't like a formal structure or spec, I guess, that developers can just right away leverage, right? It wasn't like a standard, as you would say, like BRC20 was.
Yeah.
Right? Technically not, I guess it's not the standard, but it is a standard, right? So
yeah. So it's the most popular fungible standard for Bitcoin. Yeah.
And within this blog post, it seemed like Casey was portraying not an intention to actually be the sole proprietor, I guess, of this spec.
Yeah, correct. He's even wondering whether he should even propose this or do this. He hesitates because apparently he hates fungible tokens.
Yeah, I guess his vision of Ordinals was more aligned with just creating like an art space on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And he thinks these tokenizers are over here, just doing more harm than good. So his opinion, whatever.
Yeah.
But so here he is offering, I guess, his perspective on what can be done. So the community steps up. It's like, all right, Chief.
Yeah.
We hear you. So we're gonna implement this idea, and we're gonna cement this and formalize this, right?
Yeah, and about 20 hours after that blog post, we had the CTO of Ordinals Wallet come in and say, I just published the start of an implementation of a Rune protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the first.
Yeah, this happened live on a Twitter Spaces call.
Yeah.
Everybody was bundled in, ready for this deployment to happen, because, of course, everybody wants to start deploying their runes.
Yeah.
Right? Because the difference between it is once you deploy your rune,
you mint it to yourself.
All those tokens get deployed to yourself. And then I guess down the line, you have to figure out what to do with these things. Like, how do I distribute them?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was what the consensus of that time was. Everybody was looking at Ordinals Wallet like, hey, they figured out the spec. This is as closely aligned as what Casey was proposing. So, hey, everybody, let's start the Runeathon, right?
Correct.
And they weren't alone. There was others out there, too.
Mm-hmm. It was Track. Dude, good old, our actual Lord, Benny.
That's right. Benny's competing. We got like a whole Greek thing emerging here, dude. We got multi-gods in the scene.
Yeah. He says, here are the initial pipe specs. He says the specs are also include a link to a simple JavaScript tool for testing, deploy, mint, and transfer. So Benny takes the Rune, concept, OP return, and he says, this seems a little limiting, the fact that you have to mint it to yourself.
Yeah, not aligned with the ethos of, I guess, fair mint distribution, right?
Yeah.
Which is what made BRC20s so cool.
Right.
Right.
And then he implements fair distribution using runes.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you click on this GitHub link, it'll kind of break down exactly how that all works.
Yeah.
But now you can fairly distribute runes tokens.
Yeah. So it follows the same, efficiency improvements by leveraging the OP return scheme and, whatever it is that Casey wanted to do, I guess, to again, reduce that overbloat issue.
Mm-hmm.
But it maintains at least the current day functionality of BRC20s. Like it didn't make sense to kind of like lose more functionality with like a new token standard. We're supposed to be going in the other direction.
Right.
How do we figure out how to bring more functionality and more, of a dynamic token ecosystem?
Yeah. Did you notice it has DMT in there?
I did notice.
Yeah.
Shout out to the DMT lads, dude.
Yeah.
So that's part of the scheme, right?
Yeah. So it's deploy, mint, and transfer.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually getting a lot of attention, and then of course UniSat Wallet.
Yeah, this is another example of how BRC20 connects various protocols, layers, products, and blockchain and industries together. So they have the Runes module proposal by UniSat, and that proposal looks like this. So they break down how they're going to, I guess, support Runes along with BRC20s.
Yeah, kind of like merge the two.
Yeah.
Using their module concept, which is very similar to TAP. It's just like another scheme, I guess, to add different functions that their indexers can recognize and, of course, execute on.
So all this happened in the span of like 48 hours.
Yeah.
So people are fast.
Yeah.
Why do you suspect that they're so fast?
I mean, the invisible hand, dude. It's just it's a competition to see who can be build that reputation of who's the best innovator. I don't know. What would you label this as?
Yeah, I guess the motivation is potentially making fee revenue, right?
Well, of course, yeah. I think Ordinals Wallet was charging $20 per deployment inscription, or not inscription, per rune deployment.
Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
So that's people were but they were willing to pay. So that's kind of the thing. You get there first. You kind of have a monopoly on the market, right? Because you set the price,
right?
But having said all that, there was definitely a rush. The race was on,
mm-hmm.
but
there's definitely a lot of horses. And then all of a sudden, we get a tweet by who guessed it, Casey.
Yeah, dude.
Right? Mm-hmm. He's like, I started to work on an implementation of runes called Runestone.
Yeah.
And he says runestone will not recognize runes below a future block height.
Mm-hmm.
He says, decided in advance and publicized widely.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason to rush in implementation. There's in subtle details of the protocol that deserve attention and consider. Obviously, everyone else is free to do whatever they want. Good luck. Have fun.
GLHF, dude.
Basically, everything before this tweet doesn't matter, basically.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's just Casey, like, planting his flag. It's like, all you guys who are out there experimenting, you guys can go ahead and do that. But at some point, I'm going to come and formalize this, even though I said I really didn't want to. But
Yeah.
let me go ahead and do it. And whatever it is I come out and deploy, it's not going to recognize anything you guys have been working on. So,
Yeah.
you know, go fuck yourself, in other words.
Yeah.
So people got pissed.
Yeah.
Right?
So we got Mike DeStamps. He says, if everyone's waiting on Casey's implementation and block height activation, that's not very decentralized.
Yeah.
The best thing for runes would be to ignore it altogether. Kill your gods.
Yeah, dude. Leave it to the stamps guy to, like, you know,
Yeah.
come in and just spit out
some rationale.
something like that. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you guys like are relying way too much on your founder, your god, whatever
Your
it
deity.
is. Yeah, when you guys had like a functioning ecosystem already kind of like developing on its own, right? Why revert to like the dependency of one man?
Yeah.
Or one core team, I guess.
Yeah,
That's kind of like that's the whole point is, you know, the community has to be able to self-sustain.
Not only that, but that one man is saying everything that comes before this block number is irrelevant.
And not only that,
Like disregarding like just developers.
Yeah. And not only that, it's like, oh yeah, but this whole thing is about fungible tokens. The thing I hate most on this earth.
So
like,
use my fungible token.
You would think you would kind of like broadcast this without such an obvious bias against the thing you're actually trying to promote. But yeah. I mean, these days, I don't know. Casey's, I don't know, definitely losing some credibility amongst some of the community. Obviously, there's a lot of people who agree with Mike here, the stamps guy.
Yeah.
And then there's others, of course, you know, who are actually still all in runes because they probably see, you know, the financial upside of that.
Yeah, Casey is obviously a big key opinion leader, as they call it.
Yeah.
And so if Casey says use my fungible standard, you can bet that there's going to be a huge following that does so.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that huge following launches tokens using Runestone, and you could potentially have a mania.
Yeah.
And the invisible hand is all of a sudden over there.
Yeah, we've already seen like how the ecosystem is going to react. Like that 2-day period where literally everyone was scrambling how to support.
Yeah.
Once Runestone is actually activated and deployed, I'm assuming we're going to see a similar scramble by the same actors who wanted to position themselves first because they all want to replicate what happened to UniSat. You know, they want to capture that momentum and build all that. You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how one wins. Like which one, BRC 20 or Runestone or whatever. Yeah. How is it decided? Like what? How can you predict the invisible hand going one direction over another?
I don't think you can, dude. There's too many factors. You know, influencers.
Yeah.
Again, industry support. What are the platforms doing? That's a big one. And then who are the developers leveraging any this or that, you know, token standard? Is anything of utility being built on top of it? As you know, stuff like this, you know. Yeah,
I guess all the platforms are going to have to support as much as they can, and then just let the invisible hand make its selection, and then
but it was pretty clear. It's like if Casey didn't step in here, I think like all the hype and attention was on Ordinal's wallet, really, like because they're the first to deploy something. It's like, all right, let's go, dude. The DGens they're ready to go with dollar in hand and shit, dude. It's like let's mint. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And a lot of them did, but they all basically minted vapor. Well, not potentially
according
not.
to one man.
According to one man, potentially not. Again, it's up to the community to decide.
Yeah.
You know which to actually favor, right?
Yeah, I feel like now that people have spent money, they've already picked their horse.
Maybe
it's back bias that's going to take over.
Yeah, now it's not as easy as it was now
but think about it, spending $20, I mean that's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to spend another $20 minting your runestones and then everybody's going to wait for the invisible hand.
Correct. So Yeah, it's been a weird week for sure in like this ordinal space.
Yeah, you almost didn't sleep one night, dude.
Pretty much. There is a lot happening for sure. I remember
Yeah.
checking my phone regularly. It's not normal where I'm out tweeting at like 4 a.m. It's like tweet storms and shit. You know? It's like, are you guys seeing this? What's going on?
All right, let's see. All right, X first. Transfer your BRC20 tokens in just one step. Select the BRC20, enter the amount and the address, and then all you have to do is confirm the transaction. So basically, they've eliminated an annoying step in BRC20s, which is you have to mint a transfer function.
Yeah.
And then you can actually transfer it.
I mean, I asked for this whenever we first discovered BRC20s. Like, somebody out there has to build some sort of like back-end routing mechanism or something to alleviate this. Just this added step of friction that nobody is used to.
Yeah.
And Xverse has done it, dude. So Xverse, shout out to what's his name? Ken Lau.
Ken Lau, yeah.
And his team for once again executing and bringing about more like infrastructure and
user experience.
Yeah, dude. Big props to Xverse for real. I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
So someone notable is talking about Ordinals. We have this 2023 unfolding as the Renaissance year for Bitcoin.
Damn.
Here are the slides from my State of Bitcoin presentation from Messerai, as well as the additional insight. So blah, 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 boomer stuff. And then here we go. The emergence of ordinals and inscriptions earlier this year expanded Bitcoin's utility beyond merely serving as a store of value or medium of exchange. Most notably, ordinals brought back innovation and experimentation to Bitcoin, increasing demand for block space.
So this is big. This is ordinals getting much like way bigger exposure now than previously, I guess.
Yeah.
Like from the broader Web3 industry. Messari is very notable, like their research and is highly regarded in this space. They capture a lot of the happenings within the DeFi space and just everything really. So they're out there broadcasting to the world, hey man, you should be paying attention to this ordinals thing happening on Bitcoin because it doesn't look like it's going away. And look at that, it's surpassing some of the more notable NFT ecosystems out, on Polygon, Solana, and elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like nearly 32 million inscriptions have been created, and Bitcoin surpassed Polygon, Solana, and NFT sales May, June, and July.
Get smoked, dude.
Yeah.
By a baby, dude. Ordinals is still, or this whole Bitcoin ecosystem, even though that Bitcoin is king.
Yeah.
Right? He's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
But
You don't mess with Bitcoin, dude. I've been telling you for years.
Yeah, well, still was largely pretty boring beast, but now there's something cooking up inside of him, I guess. But that is like a little mini turd, I wouldn't call it a turd, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whatever else you could cook inside of a beast,
I guess an alien.
Whatever, a xenomorph.
A xenomorph, yeah. All right, UniSat Wallet. Read our instructions to BRC20 swap to get familiar with the app and help you guide your journey. So they're working on a BRC20 swap. Very useful.
Man, it's apparently it's here. It's usable. This is a big deal. I mean, obviously, BRC20s, like we talked about again, like how non-functional they are and how limited and non-robust the ecosystem is. So UniSat having the position they have, bringing in more flexibility. Right now, we could swap these damn things. That's a big little.
That's progress.
That is progress. Yeah.
All right, Jake. We just did a podcast with this gentleman here. He says, "Wow, Oshi Finance is undergoing a hard fork to become Oh Shit Finance." As Archimedes and the team claim, former team leader Merlin refuses to move his allocation of Oshi that is currently valued at $250,000. Oshi is down 30% of the day.
Yeah, this was pretty bad, because Oshi has a lot of promise. We've interviewed Archimedes, who is part of the Ord team, and he explained, I think, a pretty brilliant idea, right, of how to make, again,
a Bitcoin virtual machine.
Yeah, we're talking again. The thing that we should all be striving for is more functionality and robustness for this ecosystem, right? Because we're talking to developers and stuff who want to do things here, but they don't necessarily know how. It's like, how do we build a Web3 game or something in this environment? Mine it without any kind of programmability. So,
yeah. So Merlin, I guess, is not complying to the new, I guess, governance,
like transparency guidelines, I guess, set forth by these, like this core foundation.
Yeah, and so they're basically forking what they were building, and they're kind of excluding Merlin's tokens from like supporting and building on top of it.
Yeah, so if you're holding Oshi tokens, some sort of one-for-one conversion process, which was already part of their roadmap anyways, should be coming in the future, just to kind of, you know.
I guess it's going to be interesting because if it's one for one, then Merlin could just like swap it too, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But yeah, this serves as a good like teaching moment. Is that if you're going to like dabble in the entertainment space of cryptocurrency,
yeah,
you want to be careful on where you dabble that entertainment.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's tough. At first, it's tough to make a product. It's tough to maintain a team focused on that product.
Yeah.
And then once that product is done, then you're up to the invisible hand on whether or not that product is successful. And so there's a lot of elements of friction and filtrations that happen with teams and projects.
Yeah.
That occur naturally, and sometimes teams end up breaking apart.
Yeah. Well said, dude. Yeah, it's one of those harsh lessons of dabbling in this entertainment field, dude.
Yeah.
That's why we make these disclaimers every time we discover something new. It's like, don't buy this, whatever we're talking about.
That's right.
We're purely looking at this from an entertainment perspective because, I mean,
look at this.
Clearly, this is entertaining. It's like a freaking reality TV show, dude, before our eyes. Just drama up the wazoo.
Yeah.
But if all this drama and all these internal, like, roughenings or whatever can be figured out, and all these innovations actually do like come to fruition, then
even more entertaining.
Yeah, we're talking real entertainment.
All right, of course, Merlin bites back. He says, I've been granted a mere 24-hour ultimatum to surrender control of the tokens I have diligently mined using my own resources to the so-called new members of the Ord. It says, regrettably, I have yet to receive a sincere and equitable proposition regarding the future of these tokens. It appears that an attempt is being made to coerce me into relinquishing my rightful ownership of these funds. So it's hard to take sides here because, you know, he said, she said thing.
Yeah, clearly there's a disagreement in, like, I mean, 50% of the supply is pretty large.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, there is always that consideration. But at the same time, typically that is like a team allocation for like most, you know, ecosystem projects that are launched, at least back in the Ethereum days. You know, 15% team, 15% investors.
Yeah.
And then
the rest for the
rest
community.
for you guys.
Yeah.
That's a pretty like average expectation. But over here in Bitcoin Ordinal space, you know, it's a little different over here. You know?
Yeah. And finally, we got luxury car maker Bugatti officially launches Bitcoin Ordinals collection.
Boom. And that's it, dude. That's a good way to end it. Bugatti, probably the most sexiest car manufacturer in the world. You seem to disagree. Don't tell me you think it's Tesla, dude. I'm going to literally like flip
Tesla.
your keyboard, dude.
All day.
There's nothing on Tesla's like radar.
2 letters, dude. AI.
Huh?
Yeah. Tesla AI.
What about it?
It's going to take over every car manufacturer.
I said sexy, dude. I didn't say like...
Dude, forget sexy, dude.
All right, whatever, dude. You just ruined the Bugatti moment for Ordinals, dude. So, nonetheless, Bugatti has deployed their collection. So, everybody's been kind of like hyping up this fact that, you know, at least Ordinals for a fact is going to become some sort of like prime art space, you know, because at some point the block space can be so valuable and expensive.
Yeah.
Only like the most optimal art or the most highly regarded art is going to have like an existence.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the future we actually should be striving for. I think we should create an inclusive environment, not just for the wealthy class.
Right.
But nonetheless, Bugatti has made their mark and their stamp. Right?
Yeah. And if Bugatti wants to send over a sponsor, we'd be happy to take a look.
Agreed. Even if it's like a little figure, like a little car, we'll take it, dude.
All right, guys, that's it for us. Hopefully, we've covered everything for this week. If we missed anything, let us know in the comment section below. Follow us on all our Twitter accounts. I appreciate you, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.